Habita Sigida Habita Suba the Shy FX. What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel of Football Therapy with me, your host Jan. Hope you're doing well, friend. I really do hope that. Chelsea news, welcome back. Lots to talk about. Another wonder kid. Another one of these young gems we're trying to recruit and seemingly have won the race for. We're going to talk about a French report about a talented young player. Hold on for that. We might be selling Pulisic. Who knows what's going on there? And we are going to talk about these Kieran Dyer comments from the True Geordie podcast when he was negging Graham Potter, backhanded compliments and dredging up Thomas Tuchel again. We're going to talk about that. Thank you for joining me. I'd remind you to drop a like and subscribe. I do thank you wholeheartedly for your interactions when you like the video and sub and etc, etc. And I'm delighted to inform you this video is brought to you by OneFootball. Ding, ding, ding. OneFootball is the best football news application around, and there's a lot of football going on at the moment because it is the World Cup. Would you Adam and Eve it? Football all over the gaff. So if you want to keep up with the statistics, the fixtures, the results, and indeed the big hitters in terms of the players and the transfer stories, just check out OneFootball. It's totally free, and all you got to do is click the link in the description right at the top to go check it out. Boom, 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 and we're back in the studio. Okay, right, quickly. Let's get Pulisic out of the way. Liam Twomey's written a great article on the American, who of course is qualified for the next round of the World Cup, and we'll be playing the Netherlands, which, by the way, is quite an exciting game, I think, the Netherlands and USA. I mean, Netherlands will be favourites, but, you know, USA, they press well, they get up and at you. Great midfield. Pulisic seems to be in form, which is obviously, I guess, initiated this story. But in January, of course, next month, in 4 weeks' time, happy December, by the way, he will be only have 18 months left on his contract, which is like sell now or lose out massively. So I'm just going to read a small excerpt from Liam's article here. His contractual situation is approaching a critical juncture. When the World Cup is over, he will have 18 months left to run on the deal he signed in January 2019. Understandably, with things as they stand, there is no desire to sign an extension because, you know, he's this high-profile player. He doesn't really play much. When he does, he often plays out of position, etc., etc. Now, before we move on, my position on Pulisic is the same of all our attackers. I think they're all very talented and misused, and that's not necessarily just the coach's fault or previous coach's fault. That's just a sort of concoction of a shit show that's been Chelsea Football Club for a little while now. Boehly and Igbali know they effectively have two transfer windows this coming January, is in like a few weeks' time, and then I guess the following summer to recoup significant value for Pulisic on the market. I mean, to be honest, if it gets to the summer, significant. The market has been slow to develop. Pulisic's wages have been a sticking point for some clubs outside the Premier League. As is often the case when Chelsea or the division's other giants look to sell players on the fringes of their career. It's like, why they want to, like, you know, say if he's on 150, 180,000 pounds a week, clubs might be looking at him, like big sort of historic clubs, like your AC Milans or whatever, but they might be like, yeah, we'll give you 80 to 100k a week. He's probably thinking, I'd rather just get paid a lot more for a little bit than go on a free transfer to somewhere and sign another massive deal with a signing on fee. So it does create a huge issue. An asking price of £35 million has been mooted and appears reasonable. I guess so, because if you look at Pulisic, 23-ish, however old he is, scoring that goal for USA, you know, looking dynamic, pretty marketable, and someone said, you know, you're buying from a Premier League club and someone says £35 million, it does sound reasonable, doesn't it? Accounting for his falling out of favour at Stamford Bridge and the clock ticking down on his contract. Whether a resolution is found in January or beyond is at the end of the season is not entirely in Chelsea or Pulisic's hands, but by the time he hopes to be next leading the US men's team in the World Cup, it feels inevitable that he will do so essentially not as a Chelsea player, and I kind of agree with that. So, yeah. Alright, Pulisic's a great player, I totally get it. I feel like every player we buy now front to back to the front, has to be joined up thinking. And yeah, dude, look, Pulisic, it says in this article as well, it's a big article, I suggest you go check it out, that he's happy at Chelsea, he likes Chelsea, he's got no problem with the fans, he's never been treated badly in like the stadium, like, you know, he always gets cheered, and, you know, he likes the managers, that he didn't, like, I don't know if he had a fallout with Tuchel, but he's spoken about how he likes Graham Potter and how he, you know, he feels he's a good communicator, he's coming, he's not upset anyone. More on Graham Potter in a moment. So, I get it, like, it's just he needs to find somewhere that works, and maybe that's not Chelsea. Let me know what you think down below. And let's move on to another Wonder Kid story. So I'm reading this from Dispar, and it is a translate. And although I speak a little bit of French, I'm absolutely not going to try and read an article in French. So I've used Google Chrome's translator for this article. I'm going to try and give you a little bit of intel on Andrey, this young player. Apparently he goes to Chelsea. Look, and this is an exclusive to Dispar. Chased by many European teams, and in particular PSG, Andrey Santos will leave Brazil in the few weeks, so January transfer window. According to our information, the Nugget of Vasco da Gama, which I believe, yeah, this is what this kid's called, is close to committing to Chelsea. The Nugget of Vasco da Gama. What a lame nickname. I don't even know what it means, bro. So he's close to committing to Chelsea. On June 21st, exclusively, Dispar revealed PSG's interest in this young guy, Andrey Santos, a very promising midfielder who evolves under the colours of Vasco da Gama, which is the team he plays for, to whom the observers promise a bright future. In the radars of Luis Campos, of course, we all know Luis Campos, once of Monaco, scouted Mbappe and all that, and went to PSG and is currently at PSG. Santos is also saw high-sounding teams, notably from England, looking in this case, but PSG stood ready to get involved with a battle. Newcastle and Barcelona also wanted him, but Chelsea were quicker. After several months in discussions, PSG seems to be left behind. Yeah. At the time of writing these lines, Paris is indeed overtaken by an English club. Bang! Chelsea. Our sources indicate that Andrey Santos is heading straight for the Blues. Thiago Silva's club, here we go, have seemed to be the quickest in dealing with the player. A transfer for 15 million euros, which is like, what, 13 million pounds? He's a child, though, so, yeah. But this goes with this, like, Project Super Kid that Todd Boehly is cooking here. Nothing is officially signed. Santos is close to committing to Chelsea. The Blues project was considered more consistent with the player's expectations than any other club, such as PSG, for example. So he's expected for January next month. The Brazilian prodigy could land in London, again, for around 15 million euros. A great deal of credit for the Blues, if no change comes to, to last minute. So he's a midfielder. Bro, he's like the same age as Endrick. They're calling him the prodigy, another prodigy. So Endrick's a striker prodigy. Santos is a midfielder prodigy. I think he plays a little bit more defensive but moves forward, which sounds good, doesn't it? It sounds really nice. Cesare Cassidy, the team for tomorrow. Chelsea Football Club building the team for tomorrow. I mean, very exciting. I know absolutely F all about this guy. And don't pretend like you do. No, I bet a bunch of you do. I did read some stuff on Twitter about this kid. Really exciting. It does look very, very promising. And it does join up with the, the Cassidys, the Chuckwamakers, the Endricks, the Omari Hutchisons, building the team for tomorrow. The Super Club. Right, now let's move on and talk about these Kieran Dyer comments. Okay, so True Geordie, apparently making podcasts again. Of course, he was, I don't know if he was banned from doing his podcast, but he was banned from Twitter, and his sponsors dropped him for controversy. Seemingly done a new episode of his podcast. I believe this is new, I'm imagining it is, with quotes from Kieran Dyer talking about Thomas Tuchel being sacked by Chelsea Football Club and being replaced by Graham Potter. Now, I'm going to read a quote from Kieran Dyer here. I'm getting this from Chelsea HQ on Twitter for reference. So Kieran Dyer has said this: "You do not sack Thomas Tuchel for Graham Potter. That's just my opinion. I've spoken to people who have had both of a coach. I'm not going to name them. And they're like, you cannot compare the two. In terms of knowledge of the game, tactics, the way they are, the way who had Thomas Tuchel on top managers, trust me, Tuchel is fucking incredible, excuse my language. They say he's on a different planet, and he speaks to players, he talks about players at Chelsea and players from Brighton, and he's spoken to all of them. Now, first and foremost, I think he's trying to be a little bit sensationalist here, be a bit cool, like, yeah, look, Tuchel's a world-class manager. And if you've watched this channel, you will know that I've always maintained, as soon as he was sacked and Potter came in, I was like, yeah, of course Tuchel's a better manager than Potter. But that's not the point. We're going to go on to the players in a minute. The point is, it was untenable for the project, for the ownership and the manager working together. The point is, Tuchel is a great guy. I love him to bits, but he lost his shit a little bit. We spoke about the well-publicised meetings that he did with Chelsea players, who wants to stay and who wants to go, and he started playing players who wants to go, and he throws out players who want to stay, which is mental. Loads of players are really, really unhappy with it towards the end, and yes, the small formality of we had been crap for a long time under Tuchel. You know, we're losing a lot of games. We're losing against Leeds. We're losing against Southampton. We lost our first game in the Champions League. We were looking really, really bad. And it's not saying, he would never have been able to turn it around, but you add up the stuff. Really poor football, really poor results. The players being clearly unhappy, well reported, despite whatever Kieran Dyer wants to say here. And just an inability to work with our new, very ambitious ownership. Very ambitious ownership that want Chelsea to win. Friggin' get over it, man. Fucking hell, he's gone. He's long gone. And yes, Kieran Dyer said in this interview, I did see the video clip as well, I'm so happy for Potter. He's got his chance. He deserves his chance. He's got his chance. But shut up, you knobhead. Sorry, but it's just come on. That is the ultimate backhanded neg. So he's trying to like play both sides here. Do you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, you're really nice, but just make your mind up, mate. You're either happy for him or you're not. Do you know what I mean? It's just sweeping sensationalist comments, really lacking context of what the scenario was, and it just winds me up, mate. And you guys know me. I don't get wound up. I'm a pretty chilled out chap. Anyway, the most salient point out of this is if it's even true, by the way, which I'm going to take with a bit of a pinch of salt, what Chelsea players are ratting to Kieran Dyer, saying they're unhappy? Do you know what I mean? Is there even a link there? So dumb, man. Of course, Tuchel's an amazing manager. We all love him. He had the passion. He had I work in covering and content for football. He is a diamond for that. But the point is, I'm a Chelsea fan before I'm a YouTuber, a content creator. And because of that, that's what kind of like hopefully came through and people understood that. And that's why people hopefully like me as a content creator. So as much as I love Tuchel because he's great for content, sensationalist one-lines, passion, theatrics, and Potter's got none of that. For me, what's most important is my club build a structure and have joined up thinking to become a functioning entity again, which they haven't been for a long time. Tuchel was world class. He papered over cracks with a Champions League win, an amazing, well-deserved Champions League win. But domestically, in our own home league, in the Premier League, we've been pony for 5 or 6 years, mate. And it's not Tuchel's fault, it's Chelsea's fault. But Chelsea need to rebuild that with a team of appropriate staff that can work together and get the right players in. And that's the project. That's desired effect. That's le nouveau ethos, ladies and gentlemen. And that is what we're trying to cultivate. So I know I'm sort of almost adding fuel to the fire by talking about this, but I want to talk about it because I just fancy it. So I think it's nonsense. People need to let go and, whatever. What do you think? Put it out to the viewers. Comment down below. I love reading your comments. I'll say thank you again for supporting me and the channel, Football Therapy. I do really appreciate it. It's a hectic time for me at the moment, hence missing the odd day. Of course, I'm trying to sort out this flat I'm going to move into next month, I guess. Lots going on, bro. Ladies and gentlemen, and brothers and sisters, thanks for joining me. Thanks for liking and subscribing, and I'll see you very soon. Peace.